Hello and welcome to Smile and Spread a Little Joy. I am the Smile Lady and I am here to share a smile. We're going to strike out against drugs today with David Sanchez. But before we go on, I want to briefly take you into the smile for those who are tuning in for the first time. It's an acronym, but we were all born to smile. That's our purpose here, is to leave this place better than we found it. All right? So what I want to do right now, kids that are in my Smile program, you can help your parents and everybody else. Just work along with me because each letter means something. And on another show, each letter has a color. So here we go with smile. We're going to have support. Okay? This is like help, right? But support, it takes a whole village to raise just one child. And this is your S for support. Then your M for motivate. M for motivate, the sign for that is enthusiasm. And you know what enthusiasm, the root is? In God. So in other words, whatever you were born with to do, you should know that. What you love doing so much, you would do it even if you did not get paid. That is your inner motivation, not the outside, that inner motivation, what you were purposed here to do. Now your I for invest. That I, money is investing, yes. You should do your money wisely. I need to do better with that. But what I really love doing is giving back. You take your two X's and you serve, and you serve. I would rather be in the streets serving and working with the community than any money in the world. I really, that's what I would do even if I did not get paid. So you find what you love to do, and that's what your support system, your inner motivation is to give back and to serve. You know, that's your invest. Now your love. Yes. If the foundation isn't love, it isn't positive. It's not a smile, it's a SME. You'd go SMIE. It doesn't say smile. Love. Love. Now the sign for that is this. Hugging yourself. How appropriate. But the slang term for smile is I, then the L, then Y for you, and the brief way is I love you. So, but love, hugging yourself, you need a 26-second hug a day, believe it or not. That's as important as vitamin. You need to drink half your body weight in ounces in water. You need that. You need to smile. That's mandatory. Even if it's just in the mirror, you have to share your smile. And when you smile, somebody smiles back at me. So it's almost like smiling in the mirror. That is a necessity. And 15 minutes of sun before sunblock a day. These are things that's given to you naturally. So you got to love yourself enough to do that. Then E. Your E for educate. This is educator. This is teach. Teach, educate. Teacher or educator. So you smile and spread just a little bit of joy. That's what you're here for. But you know who's making me smile today? David Sanchez, Strike Out Against Drugs. And the way I met him was from another smile. Smiling is contagious. Once you hook on to a person that smiles, all the other people, they'll refer to you, smile. I don't want no people here trying to infomercial this and infomercial. No, I want somebody to share to help leave this place better. So welcome, David.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome. I know they're going to listen to that smile until everybody can say that support, motivate, invest, love, and educate just off the top of their head. And I know you made me smile just off that video. You made me smile because when people talk about you and said you need to have him on your show, I knew you were a smile man. So we're going to get into it. The first question, I hope you're ready for it. What is it you love doing so much you would do it even if you did not get paid? Because I'm doing what I love to do.
Well, I love helping people. I love seeing people overcome obstacles that are holding them back. Mm-hmm. First and foremost, I love spreading the word of God.
Okay.
That leads me into a lot of things that I do these days in my counseling endeavors and then helping people overcome their obstacles. I get to work with people every day. I run a big sober living facility down in downtown Los Angeles
called what?
Called the Beacon of Hope.
Beacon of hope.
And I get to work with people every day that are, got mental issues, got family issues, got addiction issues, got homeless issues. And it's very rewarding. It's not for the money, because there's not a lot of money involved in it, but it just gives me a sense of peace that I get to help people. I get to see people move forward in their life, and it gives me a joy that just can't be described.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. And to me, when they mention your name and their eyes lit up and say, no, you need to talk to this person, and blah, blah, that is a compliment. I said, okay, I need to have this person, on the show. And I know the last time you had an accident or whatever and you couldn't be on, but I'm so glad you came today.
Thank you for having me.
You have a telephone number you want to give, and the name of the organization, Hope for
the Hurting.
Hope for the Hurting.
And the phone number is area code 323-481-1978.
Right. And I know this is a nonprofit, and you said you work downtown with...
I run a sober living, or I run with my other partners a sober living down there, 80-bed sober living. We have homeless people there that come in from the streets. We invite anybody in.
Okay.
We kind of run it a little differently than any other sober living would be ran. We believe that people are entitled to a second chance. Every decision that we make there is preyed upon before we make any decisions like that, and we invite everybody to come in, no matter what their situation there is.
Speaking of invite, I know you said you're a minister. What is the name of the church where you fellowship?
LAICC, it's a downtown ministry.
LAICC, what does that stand for? LAICC, Christian Center?
Yeah.
LA International Christian Center or something like that. LAICC. Okay, so it's downtown, pretty much where, like area?
It's down by the MacArthur Park area.
Okay, got you. I got you. Okay, so with your Strike Out Against Drugs, we'll show a video about that later. How did you get involved in that? Your support system there?
Well, about 4 years ago, God slapped me on the back of the head and said, "You're going to start doing some work for me now." I've lived a life of, gang violence. I've lived a life of drugs. I've lived a life of prison. I've done all that stuff. I spent 22 years in prison. So I know all about that stuff. And I feel today that God was conditioning me for doing what I do now, teaching me let me have all these experiences that I have, so I'd be able to help somebody later on in life with all the stuff that's going on. And in my facility, we have a back porch, and there's an alleyway in the back. And I was back up there, just looking out one morning, and I was watching the kids walk to school. And back there's a lot of homeless people that have tents all the way down the alley. And it started to amaze me how these kids were walking by this stuff and weren't even affected by what they were seeing. When I moved
I hope they have your name up there so they know how to contact you.
When I moved to Los Angeles and I seen that stuff, because I was raised in Redondo Beach in the South Bay area, when I moved to Los Angeles and seen that stuff, it blew my mind, and I'm a grown man. So when I see these kids coming up the alley and they're not even affected by seeing the stuff that's going on in this alley, something told me, wow. You have the knowledge to be able to help kids. You have the experience to be able to help kids. You can do this. And the voice told me, it's time to do this. And I went to my boss after that and told him all about it. And he was, yeah, it sounds good. And I've never looked back since. And I made it an organization, did all the legal stuff I had to do with it, websites and all that kind of stuff. And we're getting ready to put together an event. That we're going to invite some people. We want to get into the schools and start doing presentations in the schools. Now, mind you, this isn't your normal anti-drug campaign. We're using real people. We're using real people that have experienced this type of lifestyle and came through the end.
Just like Leo Dixon is in your video.
Exactly.
That we're going to show a little later. And I really like that video. It's just like simple, real. I knew him, and and so that is basically how my smile started. It didn't start here in the TV station or in the schools. It was one of the kids out there that got kicked out of school said, you need to bring this to the schools. And I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about it.
Right.
You know, I felt really comfortable in the streets, you know. And so when you get there, you have to follow the rules, and you can't do this and you can't say this. It got a little restrictive, but I seen how it was needed.
Right, right.
So you kind of adjust
Well,
a little bit.
there's a lot of obstacles in going into schools because, for instance, you know, the method that I'm using is you know, the people that are ex-convicts, people that are ex-drug addicts,
Exactly.
people that have the real story. You know, that's why I don't want to say names, but that's why all the anonymouses are so successful, is because you got real people and they're telling their real stories, and people can relate to that. It's not some, well, you know, the statistic for this is this, and 4 out of 5 kids are going to do this. Nobody,
Give it to me.
Nobody wants
Give it
to
to me.
hear that.
That's
They want to
exactly
hear,
it.
they want to hear real stuff from
Real
real
stuff.
people who have experienced it, and that's the most powerful message you can give, is the real life stuff. And I think
Exactly.
that's what kids need. You know, all these other anti-drug campaigns that you know that are in the past. They did theirs a certain way, using police officers to go into schools or whatever and stuff like that. I think kids relate more to real life stuff these days, because it's kind of a follow the leader thing. You know, when I was young and I started getting into drugs, I weighed it like this: stay home and do my chores, or go out and have fun with my friends. You know, come home and do my homework, or go do drugs with my friends and be around all the women and all the money and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of a follow the leader thing. But nowadays, kids are getting high and joining gangs at such a young age.
Because of this technology, and they're exposed to so much.
It's crazy.
Before their frontal lobe is even developed.
Right, exactly. And we're talking about 7, 8, 9, 10 years old.
Age compression.
You have kids out there joining gangs. And the reason is because their mother was from a gang, their dad was from a gang. They're born into that type of lifestyle. There's nobody there teaching them how to set boundaries. There's nobody there teaching them how to have coping skills in situations. You know what I mean? It's just about, this is a lifestyle, this is what looks good, and we're losing our kids. You know what I mean? We're losing them.
We're losing them. We're going to go to your video. I would love, before we run out of time on that, you have brought a video, Strike Out Against Drugs. I want you to look at this video. We're going to be back, and we're going to pick up on the invest in love portion of it. So right after this, Moroccan Nights is taking us out of here with Mandro. We're going to go into Strike Out Against Drugs. Thank you so much. You know what? That is exactly what I... down a fine line, like we were in the project gangs in Cleveland, and you had one side here, one side was one gang, and one side was here. If you walked on either side, you were affiliating with that gang. So I had to be on the defensive all the time and walk straight.
Drugs when I was 19. If I would have known then, if I know now, my life would have been a whole lot, different.
When I started using drugs and started involving myself in gang activities, it closed the door to any future hope that I had.
On a life sentence at the age of 13 because of my gang activity and drug use.
That is what David Sanchez is here to expand on. We need to all strike out against drugs. These are real people. Leo Dixon, who was on that video, was on the show last month, and it's going to be re-airing. This cannot play enough. They need to keep his name pasted up when he's speaking, because we all need to stand together on this. And he was saying while we were watching this that they're younger and younger, 7 and 8 years old. Can we talk about that? It's like, what are you noticing? Because you've been in this business for a long time. What are you noticing now?
Well, you know, kids are using drugs and joining gangs at a record-breaking low age. You know, they're born into the gangs because their families are in gangs, or they have real close friends that are in gangs. They think that's the right way to go. They're not. Nobody's guiding them in the direction that they should be going anymore. You know, families are giving up on their kids. You see kids. I live in downtown LA. You see young kids just walking the streets with nowhere to go. Even at such a young age that we can't even let them in our facility.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because they're too young.
Wow.
And it's, you know, it's heartbreaking that our society has come to a point to where we're just giving up on the children. You know what I mean? And you know, we you know, together, you know, Strike Out Against Drugs by itself can change some lives. We know that. You know, we through our sober living, through Strike Out Against Drugs, we know that we can change some lives. But with community help and through sponsorship, through donations, through contributions, through stuff like that, we can save thousands of lives.
You said something about Pasadena. You're opening up a facility,
Right.
and you need sponsorship there?
No. The sponsorship that we need is basically for Strike Out Against Drugs.
Okay, gotcha.
We need, here's the thing is we know that we're going to hear a lot of no's because of going into schools and things like that, because of the nature of the way that we're sending the message. But we need that one person to say, yes, we believe in this. We think it's honorable.
That's why you're on here. I believe in this.
And once one person says yes and says, we're with you on this, what can we do? Then it goes forward. And then once one person says it, then, okay, now it's going forward. Now you go to another company or another big name and say, look, this is what we're doing. We're trying to help the children. You know what I mean? We're going into schools and teaching the kids coping skills, dangers of drugs and alcohol, all those types of things. Will you get on board with this? Now, some people will say no, but when you bring it to them like that and you got one name on it, they're going to say, yeah, of course we want to get on that. It's honorable. You know what I mean? We want our name in you know, up on something like that.
Since your
of
name
course.
is Sanchez, Philip Sanchez, you're David Sanchez, you may find you're related. Sanchez, you better get on this, see? Maybe your cousin, you know, helps sponsor. But check this out. I worked in a facility, and those of you who work in the juvenile halls, there was a young boy who committed a murder, and I think he was 13 or 14. So he couldn't go to the adult facility because, you know, he was only 14. And even though I think they were going to try him as an adult, but he couldn't go to that facility, he couldn't be with the regular kids. So guess what they did? They had to build a separate unit in this juvenile hall to isolate him because he was a murderer, but he was a juvenile. Now this boy had SPA. I mean, it was just like this amazing place in there that only he could go. He had this guards there, this and the other, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Sometimes to me, that looks better than the projects I even lived in.
Right.
Where they're staying in those facilities looks better than where I lived my entire childhood. You know, so sometimes that's the draw. Even if they get thrown in jail, they're getting 3 meals, they're getting this, it was crazy. But the crazy part about that story was they had to build a separate unit for this because he was so young and did this, committed murder.
Wow.
And was convicted and couldn't go to regular prison.
Yeah. You know, prison to me, when I first started going to prison, it wasn't that bad. I was still trying to figure out how I wanted to live my life. And you know, when you come into a prison situation, you either have to go this way, or this way. And this is what I tell a lot of my clients when I have the meetings is, you know, prison has conditioned us to do this, to separate, you know, and you know, just like the other guest that was here, you know, he was talking about how unification, how it doesn't matter what color skin it is, doesn't matter, you know, where you grow up at or what side of the street you're on. We all need to come together. You know what I mean? Because there's some crazy stuff going on in this world right now. You know what I mean? Every day you look at the news and there's just so much stuff going on, and you know, we need to come together and get it right so we can start helping other people to get it right and spreading the word of God and doing what His will is. You know,
just like I know Cesar Chavez. I love, if you need to look at that movie. It was Cesar Chavez. It was the Mexicans and the Filipinos. They did not get along at all. But they found out that they were treated the same way as far as worker and being abused and the labor and all of that.
Right.
And so Cesar Chavez said, wait a minute. I may not like you on the norm, but we're fighting for the same thing.
Right.
Let's unify. That's how everything got to going. And that was one of the best messages out of that movie that I got, that the Filipinos and the Mexicans got together as solid as whatever. And that's what we have to do. We got to put those other differences aside and say, boom, we got to get together. We want these laws changed. We got to get together on that. So your words of wisdom. I want you to give words of wisdom here. Give your telephone number if you want to. Look into your camera, and what would you want somebody to say? You could be talking to your younger self. Give your words of wisdom.
My words of wisdom are to teach the children the coping skills that they're going to need when they get in these situations, growing up in the streets, growing up in the schools. Teach them how to have proper boundary skills, so that they can learn to respect themselves and not let other people determine the life that they're going to lead. We need to come together, join hands, and protect our children, because we're losing them at a rapid rate, and we really need to come together and do something and strike out against drugs for our children.
Yeah. And you know what? Watch your thoughts, they become words. Watch your words, they become actions. Watch your actions, they become habits. Watch your habits, they become character. Watch your character, because it becomes your destiny. So you want to watch out, strike out against drugs, and spend time with your child, because all of this technology is good. But you know, Richard Louv, in his book, it says he saw a little boy sitting inside. He said, why don't you go outside and play? You know, I can't go outside and play. There's no plugs outside. Hello? And we wonder why. So you smile and spread a little joy, and I'm going to get some more words of wisdom from David Sanchez while we strike out against drugs. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I was just like, when he said that, Leo was just, you got it.